made a change to our repository to make it so that our GitHub user shows up here in the All Contributors section. We want to make a pull request to the main repository to merge this change with everything else. This is exactly the same process that will happen anytime you make a change anywhere in the repository to code or adding images or anything else. So get familiar with this process. It's actually fairly simple. The first thing that we have to do is make the change. We've already done that. Now, if we come up here, we can see that our branch is 2 commits ahead of Thorium Sim develop. That means that we've made some changes to our repository that aren't in the main repository. So we can make those changes back to the main repository fairly easily by doing a pull request. One thing that would be super helpful before doing a pull request is making sure that you pull in any changes from the upstream repository to your own repository. This was covered in the Refreshing Your Fork Thorium video. The link is in the description. Once we've refreshed our fork with the upstream branches changes, we can issue our pull request. I'll just click this pull request button here, and we can see that we're merging from our repository, thorium sim/thorium, no dash, to thorium-sim/thorium, and the develop branch is the branch that we want to merge into every time. We can see the changes that were made down here, and we can see the actual changes here. Once we have everything in place and our pull request is ready to be reviewed, we can click Create Pull Request here and enter the name of our pull request. One thing to make sure is that we check the contributing guidelines to see if there's anything special that we need to do. It looks like we do have to add ourselves as a contributor, so good thing we've done that. And it says that we're going to merge our branch from develop into the target develop branch, so we will follow that. We should reference some kind of issue unless it's a one-off feature or bug fix. Since this is pretty small, we won't have to worry about that. But if you are doing a pull request that's pretty sizable, make sure you reference the issue when moderators or reviewers are looking at your code. They have a context for what your code is supposed to do. And then finally, we should add a corresponding issue or pull request to the Thorium docs to make sure that that gets updated. Since this is just adding a contributor, we won't have to worry about that, but we should make sure that we have updated documentation for any changes that are made. Since we are meeting the contributing guidelines, we can go ahead and issue this pull request. So let's say add Thorium Sim as a contributor. And then this right here is just a little template you can use to describe the changes in detail. And then we can choose the related issue, but since we don't have one, we don't need to worry about it. And there aren't any screenshots, we don't have to worry about that. And there's no need to create an issue, so we won't worry about that either. Okay, awesome. Let's create a pull request. Now, we can see here that this pull request has been created. It doesn't have any conflicts. That means that it can easily be merged in. But now we just have to wait for a reviewer in the main Thorium repository to look at our code, make sure that it works, make sure that it doesn't break anything else, and then actually merge it in or give us some feedback. Let me show you what that looks like from the reviewer side of things. I'm going to log into GitHub as myself and show you how I would do that. I would first come here to the Thorium Sim repository and see that there's a pull request open and take a quick peek at it. Tells me that you're a first-time contributor, so I'll make sure that I go easy on you. And I can see the description, I can see any commits that were made, I can see the files that were changed, and all of this looks good. If I wanted to or needed to, I could make a quick adjustment. For example, this is probably pretty close to documentation as well as being a tutorial and a video, so I might make just a little adjustment here. I can add a comment. I can even make a suggestion to your code by clicking this button here, and we can start a review there. And that'll change it so that it says both tutorial and docs. And yeah, everything looks good. If there are any changes that I want to make, I can finish my review and say that I want these changes to be made, and I'll either tell you what changes to make or I'll offer them as suggestions like I did here. So I'll click this Submit Review button, and now I'm going to wait for you to give me feedback to the comments that I made to your code, to your pull request. This is a really great flow because it helps me understand a little bit better where you're coming from. It helps us have a conversation about the features and the way you implemented them, and make sure that we're all on the same page before this gets merged into the main Thorium repository. So now that this has been issued, I can come back here. I'm logged in as a Thorium Sim GitHub user, and I can see that changes have been requested, and I can see the suggestion that was made, and I can commit this suggestion and add that to my pull request. And great, now that that's done, I'm going to just leave a quick comment to make sure that the reviewer knows that this is good to go. Add that comment, and now me, as the reviewer, can come here and see that those changes have been made. I'll take a look. I probably need to refresh my browser. Yeah, it says refresh. And I can see that the changes have been made. And so this is good to be merged. I'll come down here and click Merge Pull Request, and ta-da! If we come back to the main repository and look at the README, we will see that Thorium Sim, the user, has been added as a contributor. Once you've made a contribution to Thorium, you'll be invited to join the Thorium Sim organization. As a member of Thorium's organization, you'll be able to do more things. For example, you'll be able to have your GitHub user assigned to issues. So if you ever want to work specifically on an issue, like this one here, you can be assigned to that issue and no one else will be able to lay claim to that issue while you're working on it.